We saw charges laid against these
Yeah.
churches that insisted on gathering in their place of worship because it was their view that it was God's calling for them to worship in that way. What's your view? What would you have done differently? Would you have, I guess you wouldn't have locked them down?
No, you let them worship. There's no worshiping. There's no there's no Christianity over Zoom. Right? Like, I'm an Orthodox Christian. A lot of times Christians get into fights with other denominations because they're trying to prove which one is right. and then we don't see like the real enemy coming, who just shows up and says, "Oh, you can't have church anymore. Go put it on Zoom." And judges were saying, "Oh, it's the same thing." You know, it's not the same thing. Church is church. It's not church over Zoom. And so there's something called religious freedom. And, you know, maybe the government could have had them put a warning sign or something. But at the end of the day, if a person wants to go and worship, it's their right to go and worship. And it was totally ridiculous shutting down those churches. They already have capacity limits in place and that kind of thing. But telling them they couldn't open up. And some of the churches, you know, they took their services outdoors. And some of them haven't recovered, though, right? I hear about it all the time from the different denominations. People stop going back. And how they're going to recover is going to be very, very difficult. But there's no church on Zoom. Like, that's not a thing in the Christian faith, or I'm pretty sure in other faiths. And that was just terrible. And Pastor Rayom, Trinity Bible, courageous. He took a beating from the Toronto Star. I think the Waterloo Records, the Toronto Star version over here, because he defended his congregation. So good for him. And they need political leaders to back them up when they're taken to task by the powers that be, because they do it out of a place of faith. But boy, I know what it's like. It can get really like lonely, right? When all of the media voices and all the politicians and all the lawyers and the judges are scolding you, and then piling on and saying that you're harming people, right?
Killing grandma.
Yeah. When it's sick. Like they're doing the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the opposite. And when people have family members getting sick, they turn to places of worship.